Hello guys. Hope you are doing well. In this video, we are going to explore the force option available in Snowflake's copy command. The force option allows us to reload files, even if they have already been loaded previously and have not changed since. By default, Snowflake keeps track of which files have already been processed, and it avoids reloading the same files to prevent duplication and save resources. This default behavior is controlled by the force parameter, which is set to false by default. So, what happens in the default case? If you try to run a copy command on a file that has already been loaded into a table, and if the file contents have not changed, Snowflake will skip that file. It will not be processed again. This is intentional and helps avoid inserting duplicate data into the target table. However, in some cases, you may want to force the reloading of data, perhaps for validation, reprocessing, or testing. In those scenarios, you can set the force option to true. When this is done, Snowflake will load the file again, even if it has already been processed and has not changed. Let us now walk through an example. We begin by recreating our target table to ensure a fresh start. We also recreate our stage object that references the source files. These files are already familiar, and everything is set up properly. We now load the data into the table for the first time using the copy command. Since the table is new and the data has not been processed before, Snowflake loads the files as expected. Now, let us try to run the exact same copy command again. Because the files have not changed, and the force option is still set to false, Snowflake will skip the files. The command will execute successfully, but no files will be processed. You will see a message indicating that 0 files were processed and all were skipped. This is the expected behavior. Snowflake remembers which files have already been loaded, and since there are no changes, it avoids duplicating the data. However, there are cases where we want to force Snowflake to reload the files, regardless of their current state. To do this, we simply add the option force equals true to the copy command. Now, even though the files have already been loaded, and even though they have not changed, Snowflake will load them again. It is very important to understand that enabling this behavior can lead to duplicate records in your table. This is why the default value is false, to prevent accidental duplication. You should only use force equals true when you explicitly want to reload data that has already been processed. For example, this might be useful if the data in the file is the same, but you have reset your table, or changed some business logic that depends on that data. To summarize, the force option is used to control whether unchanged files are reprocessed. By default, it is set to false, meaning previously loaded files are skipped. Setting it to true forces Snowflake to reload those files, even if they have not changed. This can result in duplicate data, so it should be used with care and clear intent. Thank you for watching. If you found this explanation helpful, please consider subscribing for more Snowflake tutorials and cloud data engineering content.